chairman of the BioForward board, was supposed to be coming up. He got sick. He was able to do his panel presentation, which is awesome, but he is not feeling well. So instead, and it's fitting anyway, that as BioForward staff, that we thank this phenomenal, I'm pointing down because this is where I'm seeing it, this phenomenal picture of our board. As you can see, we got some cool looking board members. We're 18 members strong. We keep our board a little bit smaller, but they are an awesome group, and really this is an appreciation. So many of them are here today, and we thank you for so much that you have done, and also for past board members too, that are scattered throughout. Thank you for lifting up this organization and driving us forward. We really appreciate it. There we go. So then, Nicholas would have been thanking the team, but again, my pleasure to thank this awesome team. You can see we're doing the W, we gotta be cool when we're doing stuff. This was up at Eno Vino, which is an awesome view from up there. So just to thank the BioForward team, Mike Harrison, Brian Muller, you keep seeing me pointing up there, looking up there, he's running the AV up there. Also, Kate Rogers, who was actually standing right there, was our marketing manager. G Healthcare now has the lucky dogs, has her, but we really appreciate how much she did for us, and we will miss you very much, but again, she's impacting our industry. So again, thank you to this BioForward team that put in so much, especially that guy, Brian Muller, standing up there. He did a ton for this event, and we thank him very much. So final thank yous also, we have had a ton of volunteers. I hope a lot of you were able to get your phone swabbed. It's going to be some pretty cool data coming back. We want to thank all the volunteers. We also want to send a special thank you to Naseem Jamali, who ran that for us. We contracted with her and she did a phenomenal job, and also which was part of our Women in Biohealth group. Also Jody Hazer. I think she's standing around here somewhere. Oh, there she is. There's Jody, who continues to volunteer her time for this summit, and we really appreciate all the work you always do for us. Thank you. Okay, next one. All right, this is why we're here today, is for the awards program. So now to our lunch program honoring two amazing individuals for their achievements. The first will be to Dr. Alan Cowley, receiving the Hector F. DeLuca Scientific Achievement Award, and the second to Kevin Conroy for the Biohealth Business Achievement Award. We are now in our fourth year with these awards, handcrafted, Wisconsin artisans, and then Tim Killinger puts them all together at the end, so we're really proud of these awards. I think they're absolutely fantastic, and we appreciate the Wisconsin artists that end up doing so much beautiful work on these. Tim cannot be here today, but again, he has been doing these awards for several years. So then, next slide, past awardees. I'd also like to acknowledge then a couple guests. The first person that was awarded the Scientific Achievement Award in 2015 and has the award named after him is Dr. Hector DeLuca. And then Bill Linton, the first recipient of our Wisconsin Biohealth Business Achievement Award. Would you two gentlemen please stand to be recognized? So as you can see, we've had many great honorees for this award, from Dr. DeLuca to Dr. James Thompson to Dr. Lynn Allen Hoffman. So now I would like to present Dr. Ann Nanninger, who will be presenting the Hector F. DeLuca Scientific Achievement Award.
Well, good afternoon. I want to thank Lisa and the BioForward board, Lisa's team, and all of you for being here. It's just amazing to see this organization thriving, as your very presence shows it is. I am so delighted to introduce Alan Cowley to you as the recipient of this year's Hector F. DeLuca Scientific Achievement Award. Let me tell you just a few of the myriad reasons that he is such a highly deserving recipient of this award. Dr. Cowley received his PhD in physiology from Hahnemann Medical College in Philadelphia. His initial faculty appointment was at the University of Mississippi Medical Center, and there he rose to the rank of professor of physiology. He joined us at MCW in 1980 as chairman of physiology, a role he has held now for 38 years. Think of that. At our convocation, we recognize faculty who have been with us for 25 or more years. Dr. Cowley has been chairman for 38 years. But the administrative duties of being chair did not keep him from being incredibly productive during that time. For example, his research has been continuously funded by the National Institutes of Health since 1971, that's 47 years, during which he mentored over 50 fellows and students in his laboratory. He's published about 350 articles in peer-reviewed journals. He's held 11 different program project awards since joining MCW, sometimes holding 2 PPGs at once. So those of you who compete for NIH awards realize how really impressive that is. So what is it about Dr. Cowley's research that has led to such sustained contributions over time? It's true that he focused on a fairly specific disease area, in his case hypertension, renal disease, cardiovascular. But over the years, he evolved his research methods as the scientific questions required. He has a base as a classical physiologist, and many faculty in his department perform classic physiological experiments related to sodium or other factors. But he foresaw early on the need and the opportunity to integrate the field of physiology with the field of genomics, with the goal of understanding very complex disease processes. He's truly been ahead of the curve in generating genomic approaches to the study of physiologic processes and pathology. These efforts helped not only his own lab, but helped MCW a great deal. They drove MCW to have a top physiology department in the NIH rankings, often ranked in the top handful of all medical school physiology departments. In addition, Dr. Cowley's insights helped to spawn the creation of the MCW Cardiovascular Center, the Human and Molecular Genetics Center, which is now renamed Genomic Science and Precision Medicine Center, and the Biomedical Engineering and Biotechnology Center, which has now become a full department of biomedical engineering. Dr. Cowley's insights and research directions have also influenced his field nationally and internationally. As an example, when he was president of the American Physiological Society, he was responsible for launching the journal Physiological Genomics as a platform for advancing the integration of these two fields. When he was a member of the Advisory Council of the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute of the NIH, he spearheaded efforts that resulted in the investment of over $100 million for the programs of genomic applications, infrastructure needed so that scientists everywhere could link genes to complex physiologic functions. He continues to serve as a member of the Board of Extramural Experts of NHLBI to this day. His accomplishments and contributions to science have garnered him other recognitions. At MCW, he holds 2 endowed chairs, one wasn't enough, and he has received MCW's Distinguished Service Award, our highest award for faculty. He's received 2 honorary doctoral degrees at other institutions. The American Physiological Society has honored him with the Walter Cannon Award, the Ernest Starling Award, Carl Wiggers, Ray Daggs Awards. He has received several awards from the American Heart Association, including its Distinguished Scientist Award. He received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Association of Chairs of Departments of Physiology. Indeed, I'm leaving out many recognitions in the interest of permitting us to stay on schedule. At a personal level, I have yet to meet a scientist with greater passion for his field than Alan Cowley has. He strives for excellence, and he expects excellence from those whom he mentors. Yet he gives generously of his time to ensure that his mentees have the tools that they need to succeed. He thinks seriously about whom to appoint to our faculty. The bar is high, but once recruited, that faculty member, like every other faculty member in his department, knows that Dr. Cowley will be his champion. And by the way, MCW's deans and research deans, which is what I am, also know that he is a champion of his faculty, as I can tell you he never misses a chance to advocate for a needed resource. Truly, Dr. Alan Cowley is one of our legends, and I am just delighted that he is being recognized so appropriately by BioForward today. So it gives me great pleasure to award Ellen Cowley Jr., who is also chair, and James J. Smith and Catherine Welch Smith, professor of physiology, as well as Harry and Gertrude Hack, professor in physiology, this very prestigious Hector F. DeLuca Scientific Achievement Award.
I will be brief, but and thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. And I do thank Wisconsin Biotech for recognizing me. There's nothing nicer than being recognized in your own backyard. And Madison is, I think, everybody's backyard. So I'm very honored to be here. I was asked to make a few remarks. And as my close friends know, I have a hard time when I get started. But I will keep this brief. There are a couple of things I need to say first. First, I am really honored to be amongst the people that have gone before me here. Excuse me. Dr. Hector DeLuca is one of my heroes in life. He calls himself a biochemist, but he's really, in my mind, is a physiologist. And I have a very hard time separating those two disciplines. But his contributions have really impacted physiology in a major way. All of endocrine physiology was changed by his discoveries. And when I first started lecturing to medical students, this was hot off the press stuff. The vitamin D work was just evolving. And I can remember being so excited about it. And I spent the whole lecture talking about vitamin D, which shouldn't have been the whole lecture, but it was. Because it has had a tremendous influence, not just on science, but chemistry, physiology, medicine. I'm honored to be in his presence, and I'm honored that this award carries his name. Thank you, Dr. DeLuca. So, one of the things that I should talk about, if you really want me to be personal, is how a fellow who got a degree in economics in college ended up doing what I did. Because I think it's a great lesson to young people who worry about where they're going and how they're going to get there. I, for one, had no idea. And it amazes me that I'm standing here today. I did take chemistry. I took all the chemistry courses in college. I even took some biology courses. I was not excited. I did it. What excited me, actually, was the beginning of the application of computational biology and modeling, cybernetics, to economic theory. And I never appreciated at the time what this would mean to me and how this would guide much of my scientific career as I went along. So I got out of college and didn't know what to do with a degree in economics. I didn't want to teach economics. So my father said to me, well, you know, you can come home, but you can't stay here more than 1 year. You've got to figure out what you're going to do after that. And so I went home. I'd been at Trinity College up in Connecticut. And my home was in central Pennsylvania. Dickinson College was close by. So I went over there thinking, well, I'll stay busy taking a few courses. And I signed up for a biology, special course in biology, because I didn't think I'd have to do much. And I took a German course, language course, thinking, well, you know, I'll kill the year. Well, I came home that night and Dad said, well, what have you signed up for? And I said, well, there's this little project course in Department of Biology. I have to find a project to do. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I don't have a clue. So he said, did you know there's this anti-cholesterol drug that Merck is trying to market called MER-29? And it's having some problems. People are going blind, the hair is falling out. It's not working too well. He said, why don't you get some rats and put them on a high-fat diet and feed them some MER-29. So he helped me design this project, and I went over and we got some rats, big white rats. I didn't know what they were. And there was this small little, it looked like a garage retrospectively, out behind the biology building, and kept the rats out there. And after a few weeks in this MER-29, they started losing their hair. And they went blind. And I came home and I said, Dad, you know, you're right. There's something not right with this drug. and that was the beginning of my scientific career. It was the first time I'd really gotten really interested in something that I thought was important. And I could make a longer story of that, but our neighbor was the head of pathology at the local hospital. My father was a cardiologist. And before I knew it, I was down in Philadelphia working in a research laboratory in the Department of Medicine, a nephrology lab. And that was the beginning of my career. I left out the fact that a patient of his was the president of the Harrisburg National Bank. And he got me a job in the first branch bank outside Harrisburg. And I went over and took that job. What could I say? And I spent a week. And after the week, Dad asked how I was doing. I said, "This isn't going to work. I'm not going to be a banker." And at that point, that's when I ended up in Philadelphia in the lab. And I love it. I've loved it, every minute of it since then. One of the things that has made it for me are the colleagues that I've had to work with. That really is how this has all happened. I just love thinking about science, working with scientists. Love the way they think. I love their independence. I love the creative nature of the beast. And I've stuck with basic science all along. Switching from physiology, when I moved to Milwaukee, physiology departments were beginning to weaken. Molecular biology was dominant and really taking over the world. And here I was walking into a department of classic physiology. So after a few years, I decided, well, we better recruit some molecular biologists into the department. This was about 1983. And I started bringing molecular biologists through, and they sort of, about the third or fourth guy that came through, I remember sitting in my office, and I was trying to have this pep talk conversation with him, and his eyes drifted off to my bookshelf, and I could see I lost him. So I had a faculty meeting, and I said, "Look, guys," it was all guys at that time, we're never going to recruit a molecular biologist unless we become molecular biologists. And I'm never going to mandate anything, and I never have in 38 years except this one thing. I made my whole faculty take molecular biology, go down to the lake. There was a summer program like the Cold Spring Harbor program, where you learned to pour gels and do westerns and northerns and everything we needed to learn. We taught ourselves, because actually there was not a molecular biologist at the Medical College of Wisconsin at the time to teach us. So we went out and bought the best book, Watson's book, that we could find, and we taught each other one chapter after another in the evenings for about a year and a half. And then we started bringing molecular biologists through, and we got one. And then we got another. And then about toward the end of that decade, the Human Genome Project came along. And for some reason, and this is the way scientific minds work, I realized that this had to somehow merge with physiology and biochemistry, because this is all interconnected somehow. And we have to understand the genome, we have to follow this. And I ended up having the good fortune of being able to recruit a young fellow by the name of Howard Jacob, who was doing a postdoctoral fellowship with Eric Lander at MIT and Victor Zhao at Harvard, both of whom one of whom I knew well from some time I spent in Boston, Victor Zhao. And I convinced Howard to come back to Wisconsin. And the thing that convinced him, again, I never know where things are going to lead. We still had a very strong physiology group who understood physiology. I had been trained with Arthur Guyton for 12 years, doing a lot of computer modeling. This brings us back to my interest in cybernetics and complex systems analysis. And this whole genome suddenly was just a dream. Here it was, the most complex challenge that science could face. And I wanted to be part of it. Howard needed physiologists. He had just developed about 400 markers, CAC repeats, that we could begin mapping the rat genome, which we did. When Howard came, we were all into hypertension. Howard says, we're going to map the gene for hypertension. said, yeah, but we're really not going to do that. We're going to map the genes of all the pathways that determine hypertension. And so I spread Guyton's big, complex analog model out on the table, and I said, this is what we're going to map. And we did. It was the first genome-wide map of the cardiovascular system. It looks old-fashioned now, and it was now more than 20 years ago. But what this did, to bring me back to the collegiality of this, I'm here not because of me, I'm here because of the incredible group that all of this activity drew together at MCW. The genomics people flocked here. The physiology people flocked to the genomics people. We were like a big brotherhood up on the 5th floor, just having a ball. And I was ready for a ball because I was getting bored with my science. As people around me know, I get distracted about every 5 or 10 years and head in a different direction. Well, this one was just so overwhelming that I will finish my life in this track. But it's been something which is truly a team project. And there's somebody here that I must say is here because this whole thing wouldn't have happened without her. Two people. But the one is my lab person, Meredith Skelton. Came with me to Milwaukee from Jackson, from guidance department. Helped me get the lab set up, ran the department in many ways for the first 4 or 5 years I was here, set up the core biochemistry lab, and really oversaw, made these 11 program project grants happen. She's an incredible woman who never wants to be in the limelight. But this whole thing would not have happened if I hadn't had Meredith Skelton there. So Meredith, would you just please, one moment of recognition. And the other person, I can say this would not have happened without, is my wife, Terry. Terry's not a scientist. She's been running a patient advocate organization for nearly 30 years now, the Temporomandibular Joint Association. She's the scrappiest, most successful patient advocate on the Hill that I've ever seen, and brought millions toward the research of that disorder. And for not being a scientist, I met her at Hahnemann Hospital in the research lab. She loves science, and she has more respect for you people in this room than anybody I've ever met. She is all about science, and it is science from the basic to the translational to the clinical to the applied manufacturing side of things. She's one of the best friends you could ever have as a scientist. So I thank her too. Yeah, she has to stand up to you. There's a lot of people I would like to thank, but I've talked long enough. And I'm certainly very proud here to be with Kevin Conroy to share this award, the business side of the award with. And I thank BioForward very much. I'm very proud to be here and appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cowley, for your contributions to cardiovascular research and for your guidance in the development of MCW's physiology department into a nationally recognized leader in the field. And again, for everyone that knows Lisa Johnson, we always know I screw up a lot of times. So, of course, with my team, I forgot to thank Mike Harrison, who's an awesome business development guy in Milwaukee. So, Mike, I'm sorry wherever you're sitting. Jordan Lamb, our phenomenal legislative counsel sitting up front here, has done just a great job. We have an intern, Kate Wilkinson. I think I got everyone that. Oh, and Cheryl Connor was our contracting accountant that protects us. So anyway, that was my little screw up, and I thank all of them. So all right, and now we move on to the 2018 Wisconsin Business Achievement Award. We have had phenomenal past awardees, from again Bill Litton to Ralph Collin, to last year's awardee, Cynthia Lonconte. And with that, I would now like to introduce Bill Linton, and you will see from that previous picture, it was Kevin giving Bill the award a few years ago. Now we're gonna flip it around, so we'll have another picture. People will probably think the website is messed up, but this year, Bill Linton will be introducing Kevin Conroy.
Well, Lisa, thank you very much. And I think we're all really gifted, and to have your personality and your energy that leads this organization, it's really phenomenal. You know, when that video started at the beginning, I thought you were just going to start this really dance up there. It was good. But
I'm notorious for that.
That is it. Anyway, yeah, I want to see you on a dance floor sometime. That'd be really good. Yeah, and by the way, Kevin and I did not have a deal. I just want you to know there's no quid pro quos or anything. But this, I'm really, really honored to be able to say a few words just about somebody who has for many years been a friend, someone who I respect highly in terms of what he's done in this community. And so I just want to say a few words just in recognition of this award that we're giving here. His interests, his broad interests, and his energy as well, and his intelligence has really had an impact on the industry overall and even on this community. I just want to mention just a few of the things by way of example that exemplify just the drive and the dedication that Kevin has. Understand that he had offered his employees to go skydiving if they made their United Way goal. Now, that's something. And I was looking at how to benchmark. And I'm going to have to figure out how successful that was. But that just gives you an idea of the creativity that he has. His commitment to the battle against cancer by running a marathon as his own personal commitment and contribution to that effort. And then his commitment to take a struggling small firm from Boston, move it to Madison, connected with brilliant scientists and engineers and business people and manufacturing, and really create one of the most successful biotech healthcare companies in the state of Wisconsin. And Kevin, I know that this award is a lot about achievement, but I also want to say that it's really a lot about who you are as a person as well. So some of you may know some of the background of Kevin, but I'd like to repeat just a little bit of that. He's a Michigan native who holds a JD, so he's an attorney, and a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. So it might seem a bit odd that he's the head of a biotech company, but it actually makes a lot of sense. From his academic work, he then served as the IP counsel at GE Healthcare, moved into leadership with Third Wave Technologies, based here in Madison, and there was invited to lead Exact Sciences at a very crucial time in its development. In addition, Kevin deepened his commitment to our community as the chair of the United Way Dane County campaign, and he serves on the boards of the Wisconsin Tech Council, Bio Board, and the Overture Center Foundation. I personally was really fortunate to see that this community and his comprehensive commitment firsthand in many ways. He's been a frontline advocate for United Way. In fact, tomorrow I think we've got a little morning coffee to talk about our commitment to United Way. We've spoken more than once just about how powerful United Way has been in the community. And he often shares his philosophies and ideas about the positive impact that life science has in our community and the impact that it should continue to have for many years to come. But I think more important than some of these financial considerations is how you have built and how you maintain relationships. We have a very deep relationship between Promega and Exact Sciences, and our team often knows the nature and the quality of that relationship, which is deep, it's rich, it's collaborative, and it's very forthright. So we certainly appreciate that every day. And I think what you do and what you represent, Kevin, also exemplifies your team that you've built at Exact Sciences. In one of the many articles about Kevin and Exact recently, there was reference to his top practices and some of his philosophies by which he manages and leads people. And I went through all of them. I won't go through all of them, but just to name 3, it's good to have a clear goal in mind. You know, where are you now? Where are you trying to get to? Empower small, multifunctional teams. As you grow larger and larger, sometimes managing businesses can become very complex. But continuing to empower small teams and individuals is one of his keys. And then finally, celebrate your success and your successes. And so that certainly is important. Well, Kevin, there's absolutely no doubt that your business sense guides the possibilities, the probabilities, but more importantly, with your character and your curiosity in our marketplace, all boats in this community rise. So it's really my honor to offer you this award today. Thank you.
What a tremendous honor to receive the award and to, in particular, to follow Dr. Cowley. I will be no Dr. Cowley up here speaking, I can tell you that. And especially to be introduced by Bill, who has been a really good friend for a long time. The first time I met Bill was shortly after becoming CEO of Third Wave Technologies, when Bill reached out and said, hey, you know, can I buy your coffee? And we visited in Bill's original building in this little office on the campus of Promega, and it really said something to me. It was a connection from the start to this huge, impactful company that Bill had met, and I never forgot that. I've been really fortunate to be able to spend a good portion of my career focused on things that help other people through the advancement of science. Our goal is to have a real impact on colon cancer, which is the second leading cause of cancer death in the U.S., and it's the third leading cause of cancer death globally. There are 130,000 new cases a year and 50,000 deaths, and that 50,000 number hasn't changed in the last 10 years. It's 50,000, 25,000 men, 25,000 women, 1 in 20 people in this room will be diagnosed with colon cancer unless we do something about it. And we know that most colon cancer cases come from people who aren't screened. And so when we developed Cologuard, we set out with the intention to develop a test that people would do, and that was accurate. Really easy and really accurate. And we put 5 years into that. It's been in market now, available to patients, available to physicians for 4 years, and we've had 1.3 million people screened with Cologuard.